Bonsoir.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome.
Everyone here at the headquarters of the Canadian Space Agency. Welcome also to those watching at the Canada Aviation and Space Museum in Ottawa, and all those following online or at one of the many watch parties across Canada. Bonsoir.
Good evening to all the Canadians gathered to experience this unique historic moment. I'm David Saint-Jacques, astronaut with the Canadian Space Agency.
Senior engineer and mission manager here at the Canadian Space Agency. David and I will be your hosts tonight for this historic event. Thank you for joining us. Nous sommes très heureux.
We are very pleased to be here tonight for the launch of Artemis II. This mission marks a new era of moon exploration after over 50 years.
This is an even more special launch for us. We have Canadian Space Agency astronaut Colonel Jeremy Hansen to become the first, to become the first Canadian astronaut and making Canada the second country to venture around the moon.
Before we begin, we would like to acknowledge that we are gathered in Longueuil, Quebec, on the traditional unceded territory of the Kanien'kehá:ka, also known as the Mohawk Nation.
Joining us virtually, we invite you to think about the territory where you're located and take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the land we call home.
We are pleased to welcome our special guests with us here at the Canadian Space Agency headquarters, members of Parliament, space sector representatives, and of course, CSA employees. I would like to invite now the Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of National Defense, Sherry Rominato, to deliver some opening remarks.
Bienvenue à l'Agence spatiale.
Bonsoir, good evening. Je suis très heureuse.
I am very happy to be here with you on behalf of the Honourable Mélanie Joly, Minister of Industry and Minister responsible for the Canadian Space Agency. Tonight, we mark an important moment, not just for Canada, but for space exploration as a whole. In just a few moments, we will witness a historic moment.
Will be one of our own, Colonel Jeremy Hansen, a Canadian astronaut representing not just our country, but the work, talent, and ambition of thousands of Canadians. C'est une étape majeure.
This is a major step. The last time humans ventured so far into space was over 50 years ago. Today, we're going back, and Canada is taking part.
Happened by chance. If Canada is on Artemis II, it's because of decades of commitment to science, to innovation, and to showing up as a reliable partner. Pensons à tout le chemin.
Think of all it took to get here. Think of Marc Garneau, the first Canadian in space. And now, today, a Canadian will be taking part in a mission to fly around the moon. That's not random chance. That is continuity. And it reflects what Canada has to offer: expertise, reliability, and innovation, including in the space robotics sector, a sector where Canada is a worldwide leader. The Artemis II mission is a decisive step that will open the door to humanity's return to the moon, this time to stay longer. We're learning more, and we're going farther. We're aiming for Mars, for new discoveries, for possibilities that we can barely imagine. And Canada will be there because we chose to be there. We chose to invest. We chose to cooperate. We chose to believe in our ability to continue the major scientific and technical advancements of the past.
Canada's participation opens the door to new science, new technologies, and new economic opportunities for our researchers, for our companies, and for the next generation. Parce qu'au cœur de tout ça,
because at the heart of all of this is people. Throughout the country, thousands of Canadians are contributing to our space sector. Engineers, scientists, technicians, students. They are who have made this moment possible. And tonight is a moment for them. It's a time to recognize their work and to be proud of them. When the rocket takes off, Jeremy will not just bring scientific experience. He will also bring the trust of a nation that believes in him, the strength of partnerships that have been forged over decades.
Canadians watching from coast to coast to coast and thinking, maybe, just maybe one day, that could be me. Ce moment nous rappelle ce que...
This moment reminds us of what we can accomplish when we dream big and put in the work.
Let's recognize what it represents, and let's keep building together. Go Artemis II, go Jeremy, safe travels, bon vol.
Merci, Sherry. Let's actually take a look at the journey that lies ahead for them. We have prepared a little video that summarizes the mission. It's incredible.
As you saw on the video, this is a test mission, and the main goal is to prove the performance of the SLS Orion with the crew at the controls. They will be flying beyond the moon and returning safely to Earth, paving the way for future moon missions. There are also several other objectives related to every facet of this mission, as supporting science and gathering images of the lunar surface.
This is a picture of the rocket. You've seen a lot this evening. I'm not going to go into any details, but basically what's orange is the actual rocket, the Space Launch System it's called. Two pieces of it. First stage, main core. Second stage, solid rocket boosters, similar to the space shuttle ones. The white part on top, that's the spacecraft, the Orion spacecraft, including the robust little capsule, little triangle cone at the top, the only piece that comes back to Earth. But the white cylinder below it, that's the European service module. That is where all the ancillary equipment is to go to the moon and come back. And a little piece, a little detail, the little needle at the top, that's their ejection seat, essentially. That's a little rocket that would pull away the capsule should there be a big problem with the big rocket.
All right, so let's have a look at the flight path. Big picture, they'll launch. The crew will spend almost 2 days in Earth's orbit. They will be checking out during that time while they're still in Earth's orbit all Orion's critical systems, such as guidance, navigation, life support. Si tout est correct au centre.
If all goes well at mission control and in the capsule, they will start the translunar injection burn. This will propel them towards the moon. It will be provided by the service module for roughly 5 to 6 days. Then they will need 4 days to reach the moon. They will approach the moon's dark side, and it will take them another 4 days to return to Earth. Orion will be on a free return trajectory. That means that the gravitational assistance of the moon and Earth's gravity will naturally draw the spacecraft back to Earth. Finally, after re-entering the atmosphere at roughly 32 times the speed of sound, the capsule will splash down in the Pacific off of San Diego. The journey will take about 10 days and will cover over 2 million kilometers. Incredible. And this is what they will see halfway through, the dark side of the moon.
No humans have seen before, flying by at about 6,600 kilometers from the surface, taking photos, maybe scouting for future landing sites.
And we'll go and have a look now at the crew and see what they're doing. What will they be doing actually during the flight? So we saw what they'll be doing at the moon, but during the flight, what will they be doing?
So this is a test flight. So essentially they're going to test the spacecraft. They're going to test that menial things like the toilet and the kitchen function, and make sure that you can actually manually fly the spacecraft, control it. They do all that while in this relative safety of being not too far from Earth. When everybody's ready, everybody's happy, everybody's confident, boom, on their way to the moon for a 10-day trip. While they're on the way to the moon, they'll do some experiments on themselves, essentially about the space environment, the evil radiation environment that you are in once you're out of the safety of the Earth's magnetic field. We can maybe move on, looking at the clock now.
Yeah, we're going to move on. Actually, we're going to have to skip a little bit forward because the clock is advancing for the launch. We're going to move to the next video, in fact.
To most, he's Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. To the military, he's Colonel Hansen. To Canada, he's a modern hero and an inspiration. To the moon, he's an alien. To Earth, he's a pioneer and an explorer. To my friends, he's Devin's dad. To my grandparents, he's their pride and joy and cherished son and son-in-law. To my mother, he's a loving husband. And to my sisters, he's a doting father. But along with all of that, to me, he's an incredible role model of unwavering perseverance, unshakable integrity, and irrefutable love. His love and respect for our family, for friends, for people, for Canada, for humanity, and for space is undeniable. 50 years of hoping, planning, and dreaming, 38 years of cadets, schooling, and working towards your goals, and 17 years of patience, supporting others, and showing Canada what it means to not just be an astronaut leaving Earth, but to be a man worthy of carrying the mission of so many, the dreams of so many, and the love of so many. I am so incredibly proud of you and of who you are. You are the most trustworthy, the most respectful, and the most remarkable man I've ever met, and I am lucky enough to call you my dad. I love you to the moon and back, Dad. To the crew and their families, it has been a blessing to get to know all of you, to become such close friends and a part of the Artemis II family. And to everyone who is and who has been working to put these 4 incredible humans into space, around the nearest celestial body, and back home safely into the Pacific Ocean, and eventually back home to Houston. I wish I could meet and thank every single one of you, not just for your massive individual contributions, but also for your faith, for your conviction, and for your trust. This is not just a mission of 4 people, but a mission of you, of the US and Canada, and of everyone at the CSA NASA, and everyone else who had a part in making this happen. And finally, to everyone watching this, thank you for your time and for your support, and in the spirit of my dad, follow your dreams. Ad Astra.
My guests right now, they're in the spacecraft. You've seen them. They're focused. They're thinking about the country that's behind them, everybody who's behind them. Let's watch another little video.
Absolutely.
About that.
Canadians from coast to coast to coast are behind Jeremy, and let's have a look at that excitement.
Au nom de tous les Canadiens et Canadiennes,
Du siège de l'Agence spatiale canadienne à Longueuil, Québec.
From the Canadian Forces Snowbirds in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
From Homeland Education Center in Mi'kma'ki.
From everyone at Let's Talk Science. From the Center of the Universe in Victoria, BC.
From Kelowna, BC.
De la part du réseau d'Actua.
From the White family in Rideau Lakes Township, Ontario.
On behalf of the Turtle Lodge in Saging, Manitoba.
From the Canadian Defense Liaison Staff, Washington, and the Canadian Forces Air and Space Attaché team.
From Quenny Mohawk School in Tyndonega, Mohawk Territory, Ontario.
En direct du musée pour enfants L'Optimum des Grands à Grande-Bay au Québec.
We're here at Science World in Vancouver, BC.
C'est Martin Saint-Louis, entraîneur-chef du Canadien Montréal. De la part de toute l'équipe,
bonne chance pour votre mission. Vous faites la fierté de tout le pays et vous nous avez rappelé l'importance de travailler fort, de voir grand et de viser la Lune.
10 days of your life, it's going to amaze you and everybody in the world for the rest of time.
We wish you the adventure of a lifetime, a dream come true, and a safe return on Spaceship Integrity.
I wanted to wish you well on your journey to the moon and for the honor to do the mission pack with you.
We have such gratitude for the knowledge of our people being reflected on the patch that you will wear.
Your work has shown that Indigenous knowledge can contribute to the betterment of this world.
Nous souhaitons à notre collègue astronaute
Force Colonel Jeremy Hansen
une mission extraordinaire autour de la Lune.
Wishing you and your Artemis crew a supernominal and enjoyable mission from the Earth to the Moon and back home to us on Earth again.
Je souhaite à Jeremy Hansen une mission couronnée de succès et riche en découvertes.
Good luck on your trip to the moon, buddy.
Know that special prayers will be said in ceremony for you and your team's safety and for a successful mission. All the best. Miigwech. Miigwech.
We are proud of your achievements, but more so the person you have become.
We are proud of your life's journey.
We're looking forward to watching the launch. We're going to follow you every step of the way. You're making Canada proud.
Are you ready, everybody?
Yeah!
We're ready for launch.
Nous sommes prêts pour le lancement.
Décollage dans
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
On est tous avec toi.
Go Jeremy!
Bravo Zulu, Colonel Hansen. Go Artemis II.
Go, Jeremy, go.
Bon vol.
Safe travels. Love, Mom and Dad.
We love you to the moon and back.
Amazing, truly electric, and even everybody in the audience here came aboard, and you can just feel that excitement and support for Jeremy and the Artemis II crew.
Peut-être que vous avez entendu.
In recent years, you might have heard Jeremy saying that the space sector represents teamwork. He's very conscious of the fact that space requires the best of us, and that means that everyone has to devote their expertise to the service of the group. As the proverb goes,
We're going to go together. These guys are going far because we're going together.
Absolutely. Now, before joining the live coverage on NASA Plus, we'll take a moment to listen to Jeremy one last time before his launch.
Bonjour tout le monde. Je suis le colonel Jeremy Hansen, astronaute de l'Agence spatiale canadienne. Après des années de préparation, on y est enfin. It's been a privilege to train alongside my Artemis II crewmates, and of course, my CSA colleague, Jenny Gibbons, who has done a tremendous job as my backup, but also in helping to define training and processes for future lunar missions. What an honor it is to represent our nation on humanity's return to the moon. I am truly humbled and grateful to be a member of this crew. Je dois remercier tant de gens pour ce privilège. Je ne serais pas ici sans le soutien de ma famille, de mes amis, de mes collègues de l'Aviation royale canadienne, de ma famille de l'Agence spatiale canadienne et de vous tous. Des milliers de Canadiens et de Canadiennes ont rendu possible cette mission. Leur travail et leur détermination ont fait du Canada un partenaire de confiance dans le secteur spatial. Il y a de quoi être fier. My hope is that Canadians everywhere come together to watch this mission unfold. That those who remember the Apollo era feel that same spark again, and that young Canadians see what's possible when we dream big. I hope Artemis II gathers all generations of Canadians united by curiosity, pride, and a shared sense of wonder. Parce que viser haut et travailler en équipe, ça permet de réaliser des choses extraordinaires dans l'espace et ici sur Terre. I'll wear the Canadian flag with deep pride and gratitude, representing all of you on this new era of space exploration. Merci de tout mon cœur.
Okay, so we're looking at the L- clock. We're at about L- 10. I think we're about ready to go to NASA Plus for live coverage.
They're ironing out a few little communication snags that we expect on a test flight, but I think we can all now, we can wait for this clock there to start again, and we'll be listening to the action as it develops. But, you know, I like to say there's hundreds of people there at Kennedy Space Center doing their job, and their job is to find problems before they become a bigger problem. Someone just did their job and found a little snag they want to iron out.
So let's take a listen, and we'll head to NASA Plus live.
But let me take a look at the number of samples. Could I get a repeat on the affected LCC, please? Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT-004. Thank you.
Yeah, us taking a look at the data right here, looks like that was a single sample.
Yeah, copy that. RFTS does report that they also lost lock for about 5 seconds. So I would love to ask KUS and see if they also lost lock with the vehicle for any extended amount of period.
And COSE, while we're doing that, these are 1/10 hertz measurements, correct? So we would have had to lose it for over 10 seconds to get a second sample?
Yes, sir, that's correct. It is 1/10 hertz.
Yeah, so from our perspective, the allowance is effectively up to 30 seconds, up to 3 samples based on the 1/10 hertz. This is not an LCC violation, I believe.
Yes, sir, I would agree with that at this point. Copy that.
We're checking with KUS on 232. I don't think they have 212 access. We're trying to verify, but it sounds like they have a loss of lock as well. About 2 seconds.
Okay. And I guess for both KUS and COSE, do we have lock now?
That's affirmed. We do have lock for COSE.
Yeah, so from the integration console perspective, we did have a temporary loss there within the allowable, and per the requirement, let's go.
And this is Houston Flight. We have lock and we have good telemetry here in GSE.
And KUS is reported to they have good lock now. So with all of that, OSC, then are we in a go configuration per your LCC?
Yes, sir. Recommendation would be go.
Right. LP, you concur with that?
Yes, sir. LP concurs go.
And Launch Director?
Yes, sir. Launch Director concurs go.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just verify everybody has everything else complete, Launch Director, and if we do, we'll be ready to pick up the poll at that time, unless there's something else that you're aware of.
No, sir. Let's verify all our work is complete, and I would like one last check of our constraints list.
All right, let's see. OTC, are you still waiting for ComConfig, or are you...
That is affirmed, sir.
Okay, is that your only open item?
Yeah, OTC, this is CVSC. That 400 step 290 is complete.
Copy. Okay, so OTC, you're complete with all of your work?
That's affirmed.
All right, copy that. STC?
STC is complete.
And GTC?
GTC is complete.
Okay, excellent. All right, and LPE, just want to verify we have no open constraints at this time.
No open constraints. We have a clear board, sir.
Okay, tracking the same here. And Launch Director, with that, we are clear and ready to pick up the launch readiness poll with your go.
All right, sir, I am go for the poll.
All right. And for all personnel, this is the NTD conducting the Artemis II launch readiness check. Verify ready to resume count and go for launch. OTC.
OTC is go.
STC.
STC is go.
GTC.
C's go.
MCO.
CO is go.
Safety Console.
The Safety Console is go.
LPE.
LPE's go.
RTD.
RTD's go.
Houston Flight.
Houston Flight is go.
ROC.
ROC is go.
And CDR.
Crew is go.
Copy that. Thank you, Reed. And Launch Director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
All right, NTD, I copy all. At this time, I'll perform my poll. Attention on the net. This is the Launch Director performing the final poll for launch, verifying no constraints, and go for launch. EGS, Program Chief Engineer.
Artemis Chief Engineers are go.
Copy, thank you. EGS, Chief Safety Officer.
The Artemis CSOs are go.
Copy, thank you. Range Weather.
Launch weather is go.
Thank you, LWO. And Artemis MMT Chair.
MMT's go.
Thank you, John. And Integrity Launch Director.
Good Air West Charlie, PLT.
Thank you, Charlie. This is Victor. We are going for our families.
MS1.
This is Christina. We are going for our teammates.
MS2. This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity. All right, Charlie, your Artemis II crew is go for launch. Full send.
I copy that. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy. On this historic mission, you take with you the heart of this Artemis team, the daring spirit of the American people and our partners across the globe, and the hopes and dreams of a new generation. Good luck. Godspeed, Artemis II. Let's go. And into the Launch Director.
Go ahead, Launch Director.
Yes, sir. You have a go to proceed with countdown.
Copy that. I'll put it in work. CDR, NTD.
Go.
Gear risers and initiate short purge per your EPROC 10.1.1, steps 8 and 9.
10.1.1, 8 and 9 going to work.
Copy. CVSC, NTD. Start and verify recordings of our Orion cameras.
Copy.
Okay. Well, there you heard it.
RSR, NTD.
RSR.
They're getting ready to start terminal count.
FNA arm rotation enable at this time, please.
It's currently at T-minus 10 minutes. Once we wrap up this last bit of work,
FNA arm rotation enable complete.
We're going to start that clock.
Copy that. Thank you.
Integrity crew, close and lock visors.
Phew. There was a little electronics communication problem there that they ironed out, a little hold. Watch that clock on the top
you heard
left.
An issue.
When it starts
in
counting
real
down, it's the
time
automated
with
sequence.
Telemetry lock on the Orion.
And it means everybody's happy. Every owner of every system is happy, has given their go-ahead. The crew has given their go-ahead.
The
weather is nice, not a cloud on the horizon,
the S-band
figuratively and meteorologically. So
work through that issue.
I'm going to go sit back down, but I think we're kind of lucky to witness this very cool
with the world
unfolding of events. So a proof that someone's doing their work. Someone saw a snag, they ironed it out. That's where we're confident.
So we have a 2-hour window, which starts in just a few minutes, 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time, and goes until 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time.
And ECL NTD will be waiting for your verification on the short purge.
ECL copies.
And for all personnel, once we get that short purge verification, we'll verify that we are clear to go, and then we'll proceed with the terminal count. ECL time estimate?
About a minute.
Copy.
So we're going into the launch window, but not by much, it looks like. Just wrapping up some final work. And once that's completed, you'll hear NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding ask for the ground launch sequencer operator to go ahead and start the clock. The ground launch sequencer is an application software. It runs on top of the launch control system in the firing room, acts like a conductor of an orchestra, executing hundreds of commands in precise order and timing. It's all autonomous.
NTD CCL 212, short purge initiation is verified.
All right, copy that, and we're verifying our constraints. All right, and we're clear from cutouts. And with that, we're going to resume the clock momentarily. And CGLS, you can resume the clock on your mark.
GLS copies. 3, 2, 1, mark. GLS mainline has been initiated.
T-minus 10 minutes and counting.
And that begins terminal count. Our new T0 is 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time. We are now counting down to liftoff of Artemis II. From now on, you're going to hear two voices on the loops. If everything goes nominally, NASA Test Director Jeff Spaulding, who's directly managing the launch team, and Alex Bendelos, the GLS operator who closely monitors the software. He has the ability to stop and restart the countdown. A lot of people ask about whether there's a launch button. There certainly is not.
Flight and Rock, our new T0 is 22:35:12.
Houston flight copies.
Rock copies.
22:35:12.
Affirm.
There you heard confirmation of the exact T0, 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. Again, our T0 is 6:35 and 12 seconds p.m. Eastern Time. But as I was saying, there's no launch button. This is autonomous. But there is a button that keeps you from launching, and that button allows the GLS operator to pause the countdown outside of terminal count and during terminal count and submit a hold to the next holding point. So the clock won't stop right away. If there's an issue, we'll go to the next stable holding point. This is how GLS configures the rocket and ground systems to a stable point where they can stop the countdown if that's needed. But right now, we are counting down. Our next big milestone, looking to retract the crew access arm.
GLS is go for crew access arm retract.
And there you see the crew access arm moving away. That's the path that the astronauts took to ingress into the rocket. Until this point, that was their way off the pad if they needed to evacuate. But now with that arm retracting, the backup transitions to a launch abort system, and they'll begin arming that shortly. course, the launch abort system, great shot there of the crew access arm retracting away. The launch abort system is the tower at the top, and that's what would pull Orion and its crew off the top of the rocket in case of an emergency, whether it's on the ground or in flight. This is critical safety hardware that protects the lives of the astronauts. Starting at T-minus 6 minutes, the GLS will start bringing that and other high-energy systems online, starting with core stage pressurization. Weather is 90% go, the range is go, all systems are go.
GLS is go for core stage tank pressurization.
That means the replenish valve for the liquid hydrogen tank has now closed, and that tank is beginning to pressurize to flight levels because that hydrogen is naturally boiling inside the tank. We'll get the liquid oxygen tank a little later in the count. Now the team is waiting for verification that, if needed, the Artemis II crew could use the launch abort system to pull Orion safely off the top of the rocket in an emergency. Let's listen in for that call.
GLS verifies last capability available.
And CDR, do you copy?
CDR copies, last available.
That's great news, and you heard the NTD verify that with the commander of the mission.
GLS is go for FTS arm.
Now work is being done to arm the flight termination system. This is so the range safety can send a flight termination command if the rocket flies too far off track. There's a brief built-in delay, so the launch abort system has time to pull the astronauts to safety
first. GLS is go for LH2 high flow bleed check.
All right, the high flow bleed check. That's so the cryo team gets verification that the RS-25 engines, all 4 of them, are in the proper temperature range for launch.
GLS is go for core stage APU start.
Core stage APUs start. Those are auxiliary power units, high-speed turbines which provide pressure to hydraulic pumps that steer the RS-25 engines. We're going to see a gimbal test a little later at T-minus 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This is what allows that to happen. Coming up in about 20 seconds, we're listening for go for purge sequence 4. That's a helium purge of the 4 core stage engines downstream of the propellant valve. This gets all the air and moisture out of there.
GLS is go for purge sequence 4.
Moving through the milestones. All is looking good. Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbaling of the engines. There are the 4 RS-25s, 3 of them Shuttle Heritage, 1 of them built from shuttle parts. And there you see them moving. Now we're going to start moving the power from both the upper stage and the lower stage of the rocket to internal, taking ground power away and now going to battery power.
GLS is go for upper stage to internal power.
All right, power is removed from the rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery. Same milestone for the lower core stage coming up at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Right now, the 4-person Artemis II crew is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
GLS is go for core stage to internal power.
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power. There's no more hold time because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
One minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS. The rocket will count itself down, but honor any holds that could come from the ground. Now, shortly after liftoff, Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS is go for ALS.
Great call out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch.
Roger, roll pitch.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Integrity, AMT high.
AMT high.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the alternate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the 4 main engines. Space Launch System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour. Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon.
Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon.
Have you the same?
Communication signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour. Minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time, standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%, ahead of solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark. We see throttle down. Confirmed separation. Main engine's throttling up, guidance converged.
Integrity, guidance converged, performance nominal, upper stage RCS ready.
Copy all, Stan.
Integrity, SM priming complete.
SM 7 private complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation. Three minutes into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange, now passing 5,000 miles per hour. Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Copy jettison, Team Eco 8+02.
We see the same on board, Stan.
And Houston has you loud and clear on Tidris at the Kármán line.
Outstanding, Stan, we have you the same.
3 minutes 50 seconds into the flight of Artemis II, Wiseman, Glover, Cook, and Hansen cross the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired after last jettison now working on internal checks to verify accuracy. Flight Dynamics Officer analyzed the time of main engine cutoff, confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds, time of MECO.
Integrity, GPS processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see the same, and we have a beautiful moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Approaching 5 minutes into the flight, Commander Reed Wiseman confirms he has visuals of his destination. GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes internal checks and sends to navigation channels.
Integrity, 3 engine press.
3 engine press.
On time, now passing 5 minutes 20 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry Integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, looking good at 6 minutes.
Same on board, Stan.
Good trajectory and engine performance. Booster officer will soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Friedling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity, 78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity, expect nominal shutdown.
Integrity copies, nominal shutdown.
Six minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight. Seven minutes of mission elapsed time. Throttling down as we approach the abort once around option. Milestone at the 7-minute 30-second mark. Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Integrity, AOA open.
AOA open.
The window is now open for an abort once around option that would target splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal ascent at this time. About 10 seconds remaining until the main engine cutoff of the Space Launch System core stage. Standing by for confirmation of MECO and core stage separation.
Integrity and nominal MECO, core stage separated.
We see the same on board, Stan.
Eight minutes, 40 seconds into the flight, we have a nominal main engine cutoff heading in the right trajectory on the way to swing around the moon. Core stage has separated, done its job. The Space Launch System upper stage, the Inner Rim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, or ICPS, still attached to the Orion spacecraft. Nine minutes of mission elapsed time. Integrity crew of Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen now in orbit around the Earth at the beginning of their journey to the moon.
Integrity Houston, looking ahead to PRM, numbers so far per the pad.
Amazing to watch. We got goosebumps, I think, across, from coast to coast to coast.
Now reminding the crew
I don't know what to say. This is my first viewing of a launch to the moon. I've been fumbling on my words. I'm a little bit speechless. David?
Time being 49 minutes.
No, it's just incredible. We've been, anybody who knows a bit about this business has been holding back enthusiasm until we heard this word, MECO, main engine cutoff. That's where this control explosion is done, and they're now safely in orbit, flying somewhere around the Earth. Many steps still to
That's right. They'll be orbiting for almost the next 2 days, performing all those checks before they do that translunar injection and head to the moon.
Yep. And they'll be back on Earth about 10 days from now, splashing down just offshore San Diego, retrieved by the U.S. Navy. So this is the end of our coverage here. We know the next 10 days will be full of exciting events, including a few direct space-to-Earth connections. We'll be able to speak with Jeremy and connect with Canadians. So be sure to follow the CSA website and our social media for all the news and updates.
Go Artemis II! Merci!